Completing his top 10 proofs for God's existence, Bob Duco, Christian radio talk show host and apologist, has saved the best for last. He offers,
all right, the number 10 proof for God's existence is Jesus Christ himself. Jesus' life, his miracles, and his resurrection. See, Jesus was a real man who walked this earth 2,000 years ago. He said that there is a God. As a matter of fact, he said he is God. In the flesh, 2,000 years ago, this is who Jesus Christ was as he walked this earth. He defied sickness, he defied disease, he defied the weather.
The Prophet Muhammad proves
death.
Allah exists, and crop circles prove extraterrestrials exist, and lumberyards prove Paul Bunyan exists, and Oregon forests prove Bigfoot exists. Duco goes on in his so-called proof to retell the events documented in the New Testament, and then claim that because there are no contemporary objections to these stories of miraculous healings and visitations by Jesus after his resurrection, that these events were therefore true. He doesn't consider for a moment that fanciful tales permeated the ancient world, and people were not in the habit of going around checking every outlandish claim. Besides, the books and letters of the New Testament were written long after Jesus' life, and so verification of these tales would have been a huge challenge. But that also assumes anyone really cared enough to check into these stories. The early Christians were just another cult, and a very minor one at that. Why would anyone have wanted to bother checking into these claims in the first place? Most likely, they just dismissed the claims and went on with their lives. Few would have had the motivation or the resources to launch a full-scale investigation. But perhaps some did research the Christian claims and found them lacking. Why assume they wrote anything about it instead of merely feeling their own curiosity satisfied and the new cult's claims rejected? Or perhaps some did write down their discoveries, but they are now lost. The point is, the burden is not upon skeptics to provide evidence for these extraordinary claims. That burden lies with the apologist. And for an additional $15, Duco has another CD set in which he proves Jesus' historicity and divinity. But given the present assertion, it should be pointed out that merely stating that we have no surviving documents from the time which refute the Christian claims hardly counts as evidence for those claims. And as for such claims in general, as long as there exists any potential natural explanation for those New Testament stories of Jesus, such blanket and baseless appeals to his divinity as proof of God's existence will remain forever unconvincing to the skeptic. So there we have it, all of Duco's so-called proofs for the existence of God and why they fail, with at least this skeptic. Thank you for watching.